Welcome back to another episode where we are programming in Unity using C Sharp. I'm creating this game of mine. I want to show everyone what I'm doing and just creating it. I'm having fun making these videos. And more, uh, the fun of it is more the programming. I like making these videos. I want to make these videos, and I'm enjoying that. I'm also just enjoying making this game. Uh, where I'm probably thinking about it a little bit too much all day long. But in our last episode, we started working on the save system. We got it to save and load. So, um, we can save it. Up, something's not right. Let's see. Let me just save this. All right. And we had to kind of change things up a little bit. I was just trying to test out the dictionary stuff again, and it doesn't work. But we have a little class here for our build data. What we want to do is in our save all data, um, let's see, actually in our save load manager, um, how are we going to do this? We're going to try this. We're going to have a public static. And what this means is I don't, a static just, it's in this class for every class, and it can be accessed um, through other classes as well. So a public static boolean of is load, and we're going to say false as default. And so when we load the data, we want to say is load is false. And I think using Unity engine scene management, we just want to reload the scene. Kind of start fresh, but when we load the scene, if we are loading, go to the map manager. So on start, we're doing this. If is load. If save load manager dot instance dot is load. Why can I not get to that? Oh, I don't do it as the instance. I made it as static. And this means that won't get destroyed. When we reload the scene, everything's going to get destroyed, and then we're not going to populate it with any of this. Okay, so how do we load a scene? I've done it before. How do I reload this scene? Let's go to the. So we're going to say is load is false. Let's do this at the end. Is load is actually this would be false, and this needs to be true. And let me just make sure I did that correctly in the map manager. Yeah, if it's false, then we are going to load our test scene. And let's go to our. Did I save that? Yeah, maybe. Here I can actually just in case. I think I. Let me just make sure. I think I had an error. Oh no, it's there. Let let's go to our map, our load. So let me do some commenting. Tell others that we are loading, and then reload our scene. So scene manager dot load scene. I want to see if there's just like a reload, unload scene. Let me go back. Create scene, load scene, get scene, scene loaded, scene unloaded, set active scene. Nope, nothing like that. So let's load the scene. And we gotta give it the name. I wonder if we could just say 0, because I only have one. It's not gonna hurt to try. What will it do? Give me an error? I've seen those before. Whoa, that was cool. I saw it for a second. What happened? What happened? Everything's gone. Wait, that was weird. That was really weird. You saw it. That's weird. Okay. Let me go to my scenes. This is just called game scene. Instead of the 0, let's say game scene. Um, huh. Huh. It's kind of cool. So, let's try something else. Let's take this and put it in our up key. And let's delete this. And let's go to our map manager. So when it does this, we're going to say else. And now load it. So save load manager dot load dot instance dot load data. Okay, we're going to load the data. So now we'll load it, and then we're going to say it's false. All right, we got it. Now you might be like, well, wait a second. Where's the villagers and where's the trees? Well, we are skipping over that. So in our save data, our map manager, those villagers are all created in my test interactables. Really, this isn't just testing the interactables. It's test. Change this maybe to test map. And let's change this to test map. So all that is, all the villagers are added here. The resources, everything was added in this test map. Well, I'm skipping over that when I load it. I'm just loading the things I've saved. Well, the only thing that I have are buildings. That's all I have right now. So now our task is to get everything else loaded. Okay, so how do we do that? Now, our map manager, um, see, our map manager is keeping track of all of our buildings. We should also keep track of all of our. Here, I want to kind of organize this a little bit. This is all of our villagers, all of our buildings, all of our resources. And we will call this resources. So let's see how easy it is to now save. And I don't want to say easy because there's a lot we have to kind of do, but resources. So we have a list of all the resources. Now when we create the resource, we should have a function. We want to say, whoops, return. Okay, fine, whatever. All resources. I just have an S there. All resources. Dot add. Temp go. Dot get component. Resource. And you know what? We might want this anyways. It will probably help our AI to know where all the resources are. Okay. So we got all the resources. Now let's go to the all resources. Or the resources right here. Why do I have two of them? One under objects, one under. Maybe the one's missing. Go to my scripts. I have this. I don't see any others. Let me go here. Resource. This is under scripts. This is nothing. All right. So in here, we want to do that interface. Now, this is actually interactable. So let's go to our interactable. And what if I add this to it? I save data. Can I, do I have to do this? I save data. All right, let's go to our interact. Let's just take this off. Maybe I have to like make that abstracted or something, but let's just take that off and just on our resources because maybe we don't want to interact with that. We want to save. Oh, why is it not give me a problem? Delete this. Save that. Comma I save data. Let me save it. Let me go into Unity. Alright, this is kind of strange. Interactables. Took it off. Oh, you know what? I didn't delete these. Let me delete those. Okay. So now we have those. So we're kind of doing the same thing we did before with the building. We want to do a public, actually, let's put this outside of it. Public class resource data. And we are going to kind of do the same thing. Whoops. Whoop. And we want a public int resource prefab ID and a public float x and a public float y. And then in our save data, whoops, we want a public resource data. And then in our save, we want resource data dot resource prefab ID is equal to technically, I'm using a resource name to get the resource when I create it. Maybe let me look at my map manager. Let me see how I'm creating it. Maybe I'm not. No, I'm not. I do have a function I think that can get that ID based upon resource type. No. I thought I had a function somewhere. If I organize this, I could probably find it better. That's fine. Let's go to our resource. So let's do a public int resource prefab ID. Again, we could use this name and then have a function that gets the prefab ID based upon that resource name. But we'll just do it this way. Resource prefab ID is equal to resource prefab ID. Resource data dot x is equal to transform dot x position dot x, and then resource data dot y is equal to transform dot position dot y. Now what we could do is have a basic, so we don't have to keep making these over and over again because it seems like all of our objects are going to have this. We could have like a basic class, a base class for the data that would have this information. And then we could just use inherencies to do that. Maybe we'll do that. I'll do that off camera or off screen. All right, so that saves it. Now load it, which right now I didn't actually use that function to load. I did not use that function to load. So I'm going to leave that blank for now. Because maybe all we got to do is really just save this. We don't really need to load it because this is taking care of that. And I think we kind of have to do it this way. Um, our setting our data. So we're going to do the same thing. But this is going to be for resources. And you might be saying, well, hey, it's the same kind of thing. It might be a little bit different. Creating them might be all the same. Well, this is going not create a building, it's going to create a resource. So we do have some differences there. Plus, sometimes, I think with the saving and loading, you kind of want to maybe have more control of what's going on, just so that you can debug it maybe a little bit easier. All right, let's go to our save all data. And we want to do this. Let's delete that. Let's copy this. And we're going to call this resource data, resources, and resource data. All right, now let's go to our, when we save it, I'd save all data. So we're getting our buildings. And now we want to do our resource. For each resource in all resources. Resource, resource, resource data, and change this to resources. Okay. Now this is not saving the trees, this is saving the stuff that's on the ground. And in our load, we want resources, resource data, whoops, resource data, and resources. And then change this to create resource. Resource data, resource prefab. Gotta change all this. Okay, save it. Now what do we want to do? Let's go to Unity and go to projects. Go to our prefabs, go to our interactables. Berry. This is where we got to kind of match it up first. Let's go. Berry is 0, wood is 1. Berry is 0, wood is 1. Save it. Play it. Right? Let's play it. Okay, let's just chop things down. Let's save it. Did it save? Did I save it? Okay, we got something wrong here. I know I did wrong. I did the same thing. This should be array, and this should be array. Save it. Let's go to our Unity. Oh wait, I did do that right. Yeah. And let's go to our prefabs. Let's go to this villager, and let's crank up their speed because they're just taking too long to do stuff, or at least to move. Okay, now they can zip across, get more stuff done. All right, let me save it. Do we have any errors? No errors. All right, let's try to load it. See if we get resources. Yay! Kind of. Not really. Well, let's unpause it. Let's go to our data. See if we actually saved it. Save files, test. Nope. Did not save it. Let's go to our save load manager. For each resource, and all resources. Resource.save data, that. Add resource data. Save data. Go to definition. We are saving it. New resource data. All right, let's see. Chop down some trees. Let's save it. Pause it. It did something here. Did I get an error somewhere? That's odd. Did something. Let's go to save load manager. No. New list. We got that. I go to my map manager. When we create it adds this. And just make sure I'm getting resources in our map manager. We are not. Okay. So in our where would that be at? In our map manager actions. Under the gather action. So this was one of the first things I did. Add resource from gather. See, this is adding that. We want to say create resource. The dot get component. You know what? Let's do. We're going to change a lot of this gather object. We're going to say gather. Let's go to this script. And instead of this, we're going to say int resource drop ID. And we're going to have a bunch of problems here. We're going to create, based on that gather object dot resource drop ID gather object dot transform dot position, and it's in a vector 2, which probably don't need to be a vector 2. Whoops. Yes, no. Just can't convert it, can you? All right, let's do this then. Since you're being a pain, let's go to definition, and we're going to just say vector 2. Okay, let's go back here. So we're no longer doing this. All right, let me save it. Now let me go to here. Go in my prefabs. For my bush, that ID drop will be 0. This one's going to be 1. Let's run it. We're not getting any errors. Let's look at our map manager. Do we have resources? We do. So now let's save it. What did I save? There we go. Let's project. Let's take a look at that save file. All right, look at that. Now we're getting the resources. This is going to be a long file. That's for sure. And what we could do, this will be later, maybe we could have like several files that save different things so that we just don't have one long file. Like we have one file that saves all the buildings, one file that saves all the resources, and then we would create a folder for that save file. But for now, we'll just leave it at that. Let's test and load it, see if we get some resources on the ground. Cross our fingers. Yeah, all right. Okay, it's coming along. That's pretty cool. I kind of, this video is kind of going on long. The other things that we need to save, if I go to my, so this is buildings, this is resources. Let's do this really quick in this episode, and then maybe I'll add some of the stuff off the video. But we want to do gatherables. And we'll change all that. Gatherables. And if we go to our gather object, we want to comma I save load data, implement this. we're not even loading it, so like I said, we might get rid of that eventually. We'll keep it there for now just in case if I need it for something else. Class, gather data. Oops, don't do that. And then we're going to do, all right, let's do this. Let's go to our scripts. I need to reorganize this. Let's do a new script. We're going to call it base data. All right, let's go here and change. So our base data will not be mono, not use any of those. We're going to say public int prefab ID, public float x, public float y. Save that, or go here. So this is going to inherit the base data. So now I don't need to type that up anymore. So now in the save, actually up here, we're going to say public resource data. Sorry, public gather data. Gather data equals new gather data. And then saving it will be gather data dot prefab ID is equal to resource drop ID, and then gather data dot x is transform dot position dot x. Gather data dot y is transform position dot y. All right, let me save that. So let's go to our save all data. This is going to change to a gather data, and then our load manager save all gather data. And we'll change this to gather data. Okay, we need to have that. So let's go to our map manager. All gatherables. And we call it gather object. Of course we would. Let's copy this over here. And then down, it seems kind of tedious. It feels like we're just doing the same thing for each one, but maybe there's a way to kind of streamline this a little bit. We need to find that. Let me go to my test map. We have nowhere where we're actually creating these things. So let's just put it right here. Public void create I feel like a lot of these are Doing the same thing, but int gather prefab ID and a vector2 location. And we basically want this. See, when you're copying and pasting like this, it makes you say, hey, maybe you should just have a generic create object class. But then I think this messes up with this list. We could like send a list. So when you gather the object, you're going to say the prefab, you're going to say the location, you're going to say what list it's going to be added to. I'll do that off screen. Let's just try to get this to work. Temp. We're going to say, well, even this, we would need this too. Gather prefabs. Do I have gather prefabs? Well, really, we could have a list of prefabs of all game objects. And then we would probably definitely use the names. So let's just call this gather prefabs. We'll just leave this for now, and I'll come back to this is going to be gather prefab ID. Return temp go. See, we don't even need to return this. For each gather data, save data. Really? Because we want this to be the object, game object, gather object. You want to say gather data. All right, gather object. And then we want to say save all data, resources. Nope, we want to say save in all gather objects. Change that. And change this to gatherables. Okay, so that saves the data. And then loading it. All gather objects. Call this gather. Save all data dot gatherables. Create gather object. I believe it's what's called. Maybe not. Create gatherable. We really need to use the same name, so I'm just kind of go through this quick, see if it works. Gather data. We're going to streamline this, all of this. So I think we can. Not sure. Gather prefab ID, and now it's just called prefab ID. And now it's just, yeah, gather data, gather data. Let's save this. Go to our Unity. Let's play this. I know this video is going kind of a little longer. Let me just save it. None of these were added. So let's go back to our map manager. In our map test, instead of doing this, we're going to create a gatherable. See, we already have a list of all the interactable prefabs here. We are definitely going to change this. Gather prefabs 0, comma, this. Gather prefabs 0. Oh, I just say 0. Okay, that's for creating the bushes, I believe. Let's do this. Save it. We're going to change the system where it uses strings to find the correct prefab. And then we don't have to worry about getting the wrong number. I mean, we have to make sure we spell things correctly. So this one is 0. Let's see. I thought I had a... Hold on. Let's go back to our gather object. That's not right. We don't want the resource ID. We want to do a public int gather prefab ID. And we'll change this to the gather prefab ID. Save it. And zero for the bush, 1 for the tree. Let's go to our map manager. All gather objects. No. Gather prefabs. We want this. And we want this. Let's save everything. Let's check this out. Okay, cool. Did just bushes. Let's go back to our map manager. This needs to be 1. Save it. Let's play this. Okay. Let me just chop down a few trees. We still have a few things to do. I'll show you. I'm going to save it. We got an all reference. Awesome. Why there? Let me go to my save all data. Gatherable, new gather data. That's all correct. I'm going to my map manager. At the top. All resources. Push play. Save it. Save data resource, save data. Why is this null? Let's go to definition. Let me go back to our save all data. Let me just make sure. List array, resources. Take this out for a sec. Whoops. Maybe I can't take it out. Maybe undo that. I lost that error. We didn't have that error last time. Null reference. And just check that we're getting resources, but what is this? Isn't that interesting? Huh. Why? Let me play it. It's adding all of these resources instead of adding them to there. Map manager. We create. We're adding it to the wrong one. And we're doing that. Whoops. Okay. Jump down a few of these. Let's save it. We're missing reference. Okay, yeah. So here, I'm just going to show you that the saving is working. I'm going to save it before I chop down anything. Okay, we saved it. Now I'm going to load it and see if all those trees and stuff. There we go. So it is working. We are saving it. The issue is, and same with gathering the resources, when we chop them down and gather them, we need to remove them from those lists, and we're not doing that. So I'll fix that off screen. Like I said, I'll probably change some of this to where it's a little bit more streamlined so I don't have to basically type all this for every single object. We're just going to have to see on some of the objects we're eventually going to need to, like for example, the house. The house has some more data that these trees and bushes don't have. The house will say who lives there. Um, the storehouse will have a list of all the resources that were currently gathered at that storehouse. Blueprints would be the same way. What resources are at the blueprints? So that's kind of why I'm separating everything. But maybe if we can just have part of the data just saves how it creates the object and how it puts the object on the screen. And then we save another portion of the object that is the other data, the extra data. So that's just something I'll be thinking about. I know this has gone a little bit long, saving data is a little complicated. I think when I kind of redo it, I might not record it. I might just uh, mess around with it, and then in the next video, maybe I'll just explain what all I changed for the system of saving. But thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.